House of Rip presents a new tale. Welcome to a tale of a brave and furry hero, a tale of shedding fur, and a monster made of hair. In a world much like our own, where shedding dogs are a common sight, one dog named Fido found himself facing a unique and terrifying problem. Join us as we follow Fido's journey of self-discovery and bravery in the face of adversity. Once upon a time, in a world much like our own, there lived a dog named Fido. Fido was a happy-go-lucky pup who loved nothing more than chasing after tennis balls and taking long walks with his owner, Mrs. Jenkins. However, one day, Fido started to notice something strange happening with his fur. He began shedding at an alarming rate, leaving clumps of hair all over the house. Mrs. Jenkins did her best to keep up with the shedding, but it seemed like no matter how much she vacuumed, there was always more hair to clean up. As the shedding continued, Fido started to feel a bit self-conscious about his appearance. He wasn't used to looking so scruffy, and he didn't like the way people looked at him when he went on walks with Mrs. Jenkins. To make matters worse, he could tell that Mrs. Jenkins was starting to get frustrated with the constant mess. One day, as Mrs. Jenkins was cleaning up another pile of Fido's shed hair, something strange happened. As she was sweeping the hair into a pile, the hair started to move on its own. At first, Mrs. Jenkins thought she was just seeing things. But as the pile of hair grew larger, she realized that something was definitely going on. Before she knew it, the pile of hair had grown into a massive, writhing monster. It had eyes made of clumps of hair and teeth made of dog hair brushes. It let out a deep, guttural growl that shook the entire house. Fido, who had been napping in the corner, woke up with a start. He couldn't believe his eyes as he watched the monster made of his own hair grow bigger and bigger. Mrs. Jenkins was paralyzed with fear, unsure of what to do. Fido, however, had other ideas. He knew that he was responsible for this mess, and he knew that it was up to him to fix it. With a burst of courage, Fido launched himself at the hair monster, barking and growling with all his might. At first, the monster seemed unaffected, but as Fido continued to attack, it started to shrink and shrink until it was just a pile of hair once again. Mrs. Jenkins was amazed. She couldn't believe that Fido had saved the day with nothing but his bark and his bravery. From that day forward, Fido didn't feel so bad about his shedding. He knew that it was just a natural part of being a dog, and that even when things got a little out of hand, he had the power to make things right. And as for Mrs. Jenkins, she was just happy to have such a loyal and courageous pup by her side. She knew that no matter what challenges they faced, they would always be able to overcome them together. And so, dear listeners, we come to the end of Fido's story. A story of bravery, friendship, and overcoming adversity. We hope that you have enjoyed following Fido's journey as much as we have enjoyed telling it. Remember, sometimes the things that make us unique can also be the things that save us. And no matter how small we may seem, we all have the power to make a difference in the world around us. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. If you're a dog lover, please subscribe.